Currently, the big tech companies have a monopoly on online content, and they arbitrarily censor certain subjects, limit reach of certain people, and even outright ban certain people, plus push certain agendas. So today we're going to be looking at 3 alternative social media platforms, including 2 that have recently had some big news, so stick around. Hello, I am Jay, and this is DS Tech Media, where we cover everything tech from hardware to software, servers to game consoles, but specializing in Linux and open source software. And as before I mentioned, we're going to be looking at some alternative social media platforms here, and those are Gettr, Rumble, and 3speak. So recently, Joe Rogan did an interview with a controversial doctor who had been banned from Twitter just before the interview. And since this is a tech channel, I'm not even going to get into why he was banned or why he's controversial, but I do want to focus on the alt tech platform that the doctor promoted, and that is Gettr, which is explicitly a Twitter competitor. So let's go ahead and check that out.
Robert, thank you for everything. I really appreciate you being here. If people want to read more of your work, now that you've been banned from Twitter, where are you? Are you still on LinkedIn?
I'm still on LinkedIn.
Right.
So I'm going to be using Gettr for that.
Gettr? What is that?
That's a Twitter alternative.
Oh,
you don't know about Gettr? Yeah, no, it's
been waiting for one though.
Yep. So I'm using Gettr at RW Malone MD.
Is it spelled like Getter?
Gettr. So Gettr is explicitly a Twitter alternative.
Is it all right-wing crazy people?
No, it's a lot of They are committed to not censoring.
Beautiful. Well, I support that entirely. I mean, there's a problem with some of these that they do get infected by people that were shit posters. You know what shit posters are? People just, yeah. Well,
so you get the picture. If you're unfamiliar, Joe Rogan Experience is one of the most watched audio-video podcasts in the world, and having an up-and-coming tech site being mentioned on Rogan is publicity that you almost couldn't buy. But after that, Rogan took it even a step further and tweeted out an invitation to Gettr. So Gettr started getting a ton of publicity. Constantly mentioned was they do not censor and that it is a free speech platform. Coincidentally, I actually made a Gettr account just before this news took place, and I haven't posted anything here yet, but clearly you can see they've modeled their entire interface off Twitter's current look and feel. And the main takeaway from all this is Gettr is not free of censorship. In fact, they've actually banned several personalities. There was an issue with political operative Roger Stone. Another controversial figure, Nick Fuentes, was banned. And there have been several others. And after Rogan made that tweet this past week, Gettr gained over 1 million new users, which is quite a number. Now, one of the first things I noticed when I got on here was a lot of Chinese language posts, such as this one, this one, this one, this one. And a lot of people have been quite concerned about this. And it turns out that Gettr received a lot of their startup funding from a foundation owned by a Chinese billionaire by the name of Guo Wengui and his family. Apparently he's Chinese, and he's also very critical of the Chinese government, or CCP, and their censorship practices. Because of this, many Chinese expatriates have embraced the site early on, prior to it becoming big in the US. And that is why you'll notice so many Chinese language posts on here. And one thing that was kind of impressive to me about the site is that they offer live streaming capability. So that's kind of exciting. That's not a small thing to try and pull off. So it is cool to see that. And as for now, I don't really plan to use Gettr, and I'm not saying that I like or dislike it. I just don't see DS Tech Media having a real place on the platform at this moment, but if it really takes off, that could change. But I did want to let everyone know about the rumors of the Chinese involvement and about the censorship practices that have been going on. Feel free to do your own research, but Gettr is the first mention on this list. Also, I wanted to mention real quickly that they do have mobile apps for iPhone and Android, so there's that. So up next, we're going to be looking at Rumble, and I've actually featured Rumble before in my past alt tech platform video, but I didn't cover it extensively because I had so many different apps and sites in that video, and I really wasn't using Rumble at the time. Ironically, tonight as I record this video, the CEO of Rumble, Chris Pavlovsky, was on the Timcast IRL show on YouTube, and I found some interesting things in there. We should probably take a look at those, so let's go ahead and do that now.
Sitting before us, we got the CEO of Rumble, and you guys are, is it fair to say you're anti-censorship on Rumble?
Absolutely. We're what you're seeing right now.
But you have to explain that.
Anti-censorship?
Yeah, you ban content, don't you?
Well, absolutely. Yeah, we do. And we have policies that have been in place since 2013. Obviously, terrorist organizations, promoting terrorist organizations, incitement to violence, child pornography, all that stuff's not acceptable on the platform. What you're seeing is that these companies, whether it's Google or whether it's Twitter, are now becoming arbiters of truth. They're being asked, or they're being forced, or they're being demanded by whether it's journalists or governments to basically determine what's good and what's not good. Imagine me to be the person that's going to tell you what you can or cannot say.
So when asked about censorship, he said, yeah, we do censor certain things, and it sounds like it's within reason. And I really like his position on things. So far, so good.
Someone asked me to kind of ask you, will Rumble volunteer information about its users to regulators and law enforcement, or will you guys demand a warrant?
Yeah, we're not going to just hand over information. It's got to go through the proper channels. It has to be legally done. And if, there's a subpoena, we'll follow the law. In all cases, we have to follow the law.
So that as well is pretty much standard policy across most of these platforms, and I thought that was worth sharing. And I have another section here.
Well, let me ask you. You guys are based in Canada.
We are.
That's not good.
Not good, especially with the legislation that might come down in the next couple of years.
You got hate speech laws in Canada, right?
That's right.
If the government of Canada came to you and said, you are hosting illegal content, you must take it down, would you guys take it down?
If it was illegal, absolutely.
But illegal in Canada?
Absolutely. I'm not going to jail.
So this means that
Like misgendering, I think that's one of the laws in Canada.
So one of the things that we're doing is that we're headquartering down in Sarasota, Florida. We announced that a couple months ago. That's a big move that we're going to be doing as a company, and super excited to go to Florida. Better weather too. So.
Yeah. And there you have it. There is the announcement that they're moving their headquarters from Canada to Florida, where obviously they'll be able to uphold more free speech with their platform. So that, I think, is a positive sign coming from the CEO of Rumble there. Speaking of Rumble, they've been around since 2013. They slowly started to grow. America's Funniest Home Videos was one of the first major shows to start publishing to Rumble, and rest in peace Bob Saget, by the way. But we also saw lots of news channels and independent news channels like One America News, Newsmax, which are kind of right-leaning, adopt Rumble. And then more recently, Steven Crowder moved to Rumble, who has millions of followers on YouTube. Timcast, millions of followers on YouTube, now on Rumble. And lots of big channels have adopted Rumble, and it looks like Rumble could be poised to be the next major competitor to YouTube, which is good. I personally prefer Library and Odyssey, but whatever competition to YouTube there is, I'll take it. I'm happy to have any sort of competition. Having Rumble being featured on the Timcast IRL show is a big deal. Like I said, he has watching live. There's usually, I think, 60 to 100,000 people watch live, something crazy like that. So it's a major shout out to Rumble to be on Timcast. I think it's awesome they had him on. I have just recently been working to upload all of DS Tech Media content to Rumble. They have live streaming now. I don't think they had that the last time I featured them. Other major news regarding Rumble is that they're going to be acquiring locals.com, and the locals.com platform is sort of like an alternative to Patreon. It was created by Dave Rubin, and basically it's a subscription model, and Rumble's going to be acquiring that and integrating the locals functionality into Rumble. Doesn't really mean anything to me, but Rumble's performance has been excellent so far. I've had no real bugs or issues with it. When it comes to uploading video to Rumble, you get just about all the features of YouTube. They don't have quite as an extensive creator studio as YouTube does, but they do offer several different licensing formats for when you're uploading content. You can do exclusive Rumble deals, and you can also have them manage your content where they'll distribute it to YouTube when you upload to Rumble. So there's a lot of different interesting features like that. Kind of awesome to see a major contender coming about in the form of Rumble. Now, with that said, they definitely do have more permissive free speech laws or terms of service than YouTube, but they're still, from what I can tell, advertiser based. That's how we saw the censorship start to come to YouTube, was the ad buyers were boycotting certain things, and that was how the adpocalypse began. And it is a centralized platform. I'd like to see us move to more decentralized platforms in the future with Web 3.0. And last but not least is 3speak, or you may refer to it as 3speak.tv. 3speak is a video platform based on the Hive blockchain, which has been around for a little while now. Hive itself is a fork of the Steemit blockchain, and the original purpose of Steemit was as a blogging platform, and here is the Hive ecosystem. These are the D apps. There's 3speak, there's lots of different ones, Leo Finance, PeakD, Hive.blog. They're essentially the same thing. I publish to the Hive blog via PeakD, but the content appears in both places, and you can actually earn Hive's crypto for people viewing your content. Performance on 3speak is pretty good, to be honest, and at the same time that I've been uploading all of my content to Rumble, I've also been uploading it all to 3speak. They have a pretty nice interface for creators when it comes to uploading. Everything works pretty smoothly. I did encounter some delays when I tried uploading more than one video at once, but overall it's a positive experience. One of the awesome things about 3speak is it can also make use of IPFS, or interplanetary file system, and basically when you're using that, your content gets distributed among a decentralized nodes instead of in centralized servers. So very forward-looking technology in that case there. I really like that they implement this picture-in-a-picture player just like you get on Odyssey. If you click desktop app here, they offer an app image on Linux as well as Windows and Mac OS, and I'll go ahead and get that running, try and show you that. Essentially, it's just a web interface in a wrapper for the app, so nothing too special there. One interesting thing about it though, when you're uploading through the app, it mentions that you're allowed to use hardware acceleration to speed up video encode, not available on all systems. Results may vary. I have not tested this out. There's NV encode or NVENC, which is what I would use since I'm using NVIDIA GPU. And QSV, I am not honestly familiar with. But yeah, there you go. Lots of big news in the alt video and alt social platform community. Really excited to see where this goes. Rumble definitely looks poised to become a major contender to YouTube, and I'm not as excited about Gettr, but they're showing a ton of growth. As of recording this video, they're up to over 4 million new users. I'm sure Twitter, a big deal. Probably a little bit concerned about that. I'm going to take this time to plug my 3speak and Rumble accounts. All of my videos are now up there, so if you're on those platforms, guys, go ahead and find me, give me a subscription, help the channel to grow. If you're watching this on YouTube and you're not subscribed, give me a subscription, because every single one matters. Also, let me know what you thought about the video. If you liked it, leave a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, leave a thumbs down. I'll see it even if nobody else can. Also, love to hear from you. Have anything to say, leave a comment. Lots of stuff in the works. Gonna finish part 3 of that one major project I've been working on, and got more hardware videos and other great stuff in the way. Also building the new studio, got upgrades to my hardware coming, and just lots of effort is going into DS Tech Media in 2022. I thank you so much for watching. I'm Jay, this is DS Tech, and we will see you in the next one.